Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today it's going to be a game from Home Story Cup 2019 from November. It's going to be soO versus Bunny here on Thunderbird. Top left-hand corner is the blue Zerg player soO. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the red Terran player Bunny. Alright, so a ZVT here on Thunderbird, the macro map between two very high-level Korean players. Bunny is an excellent Terran player. soO is an excellent Zerg player. We will see who comes out on top here. You never know who's going to win in a game of StarCraft 2. Even if I'm playing Cyril, I kind of feel like I could take a game off him like one in, I don't know, maybe 1,000 games. Maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me on that. 16, 18, 17 here from soO. A balance patch was released last week. They just kind of reverted the Adept change, bringing back Resonating Glaives. And the upgrade now upgrades the attack speed of Adepts to 45% higher than normal. And they made some changes to Microbial Shroud as well because nobody was using it. Just making it a little bit cheaper. Getting rid of the hive requirement for Microbial Shroud. I'm not entirely sure if we'll see it, but again, it is a worse Dark Swarm from a Brood War. Alright, Reaper name here is going to be the Imps of IMP. Blitz, Moxie, and Millie were demons in hell of the immediate murder professionals. With their access to the material world, IMP promised to finish Hell's denizens' unfinished business, which is kill people who wronged their customers. The IMP received a contract from a huge amount of people to kill Emperor Mengsk for many reasons, most of them involving the Reaper program. However, Blitz messed up the assassination, all three were captured, and then were sent to the Reaper program. It's a reference from Hell of a Boss. No idea what that is. Is that an anime? It's probably an anime, if I had to guess. Otherwise, I don't know where that's coming from. Regardless, Reaper moving out. SCV is up here scouting around, recognizing the Reaper doesn't have to stay home, as it was a hatch first play, not a pool first play. And SCV does block the third for just a little bit. soO did want to get that up sooner than he was able to, but the SCV block was pretty effective there. There's really no way to stop that from happening if you're trying to get that super early third. The SCV scout really pays for itself in that sense. So Zergling's here to fight. Queen's going to pop. There you go, as the Queen here was the first one to be built. Although, hang on, this one kind of popped at the same time. I think what happened was soO was going to go for the third base early, but then just went for 2 queens instead. He wanted to spend his money. If the timing on the third is late, he wants to have queens up anyway to defend against this Reaper and just call it a day. So soO handling it pretty well early here with the queens. Reaper does get a decent scout off, checks the lair timing, of which there is no lair timing. Saturation on the gas is not that great here from soO either, recognizing drones are more important now than teching up or getting upgrades or anything else. That's your third command center for Bunny starting at 3 minutes. And Hellion production has begun. So we're going to macro this thing. Ladies and gents, hope you're enjoying your day here today. I think this is going to be a special patron cast on patreon.com/FalconPaladin. For everybody who has pledged at least $1 a month to me, you get to see this thing a whole month before anybody else does. And just kind of makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. So excellent, excellent ZVT coming at you. Again, I really like both of these players. soO has just been elite for a long time. Finally got a GSL win in 2019, which was his first ever after getting second place like 100 times. Bunny has just been finishing high in GSL seasons. Did he qualify for BlizzCon? I think he qualified for BlizzCon. And Kitty 8 charge, bam, knocking that queen back. So this is on the current patch. Although, no, because the patch notes, I don't know, man. That patch where they got rid of Resonating Glaives was one of the shortest patches of all time in StarCraft 2. It was lasted for like 6 weeks, maybe 4. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... See, can't cancel it. It would have been canceled, but instead it's not canceled. So that's the first time I've actually seen a tumor killed that could have been and would have been canceled if it was available to be canceled, which is hilarious. Certainly try to get into the natural base, but 2 Hellions are staying home to try to make sure that Zergling Harass doesn't accomplish anything. Roach Warren done here from soO. Again, these are just safety roaches in case these turn into Hellbats. In case this turns into like 16 Hellions instead of the 4 or 5 that we're seeing on the map right now. Is there an armory? There's a fusion core. Oh, hold on. Are we going Battlecruiser, my guy? It's a delayed Battlecruiser rush. I mean, is it a rush if it shows up at like 7 minutes? Probably not. But still, nice. Oh, my goodness, taking down another tumor. That would be canceled too. This is the most should have canceled creep tumors, but can't. Examples I've seen on the channel here. Nice SCV blockage, allowing the Hellions to get mass AoE damage on those Zerglings. Third base landing, 2 Zerglings trying to stop it. Nope, that's not going to happen. Ooh, actually losing a Hellion there a little sloppily there was Bunny, but is it Battlecruiser? Of course it is. You don't get a Fusion Core this early if you're not going to go for Battlecruiser. I guess it could be an Advanced Ballistics Liberator Rush, but we haven't seen those in months. That is kind of an outdated strategy these days. So the question is soO ready for this, right? soO is making a Spore inside his main. His third base is bereft of any static defense as well as his natural. So I don't think he knows this is coming. He hasn't got a scout off of anything in the main base at all. He knows there's a third base, but so what? But here we go. Roach's Ravagers coming in. This feels a little deja vu-ish, man. We have seen games like this go to the Zerg player because they went for the Roach Ravager 2.5 base attack. And a Battlecruiser popped, but it was really probably too late to stop anything here. Oh, Corrosive Bile taking down that supply depot. Again, we have seen this very scenario. SCV's coming in to pull off the line, and the Battlecruiser doing pretty well for itself. Hellion count a little bit higher than it has been in previous games where I've seen this, but losing the supply depots hurts. It does supply block Bunny pretty effectively. That depot is gonna die. I don't think there's an SCV available to repair it. Bunny has other priorities, and it does end up going down. Lings try to come in. 11 SCVs die, but that was quite a commitment out of soO. The Roach Warren was not, in fact, defensive. That was an aggressive Roach Warren. Battlecruiser shows up. Queen count is, in fact, 5 in this location, which is what you want. There is a Spore popping up now, so Battlecruiser really shouldn't accomplish anything over here. Did get 8 kills defensively, but offensively hard to do when there are this many Queens on the field. Lings rolling in, trying to get us around on those Hellions. They can't quite do it. They can't quite get us surrounded. Lings running into a choke anyway. They're all going to die. So Battlecruiser, again, no kills on this side of the map because it's hard to do. That's what Queens exist for. soO, again, just had the Queens anyway. I don't think he made any extra Queens specifically because he saw the BC on the other side of the map. This is just something you do as Zerg. You just make a bunch of Queens, drone your face off. I'm still trying to find the balance between droning my face off and making Queens. I feel like I make my extra Queens too early when I should be making drones, but then I want Queens and I don't have them, and I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to balance. Zerg is really powerful at the highest level, but for us lowbies, it can be hard to figure out certain timings like that and when to make drones versus when you're going to make army versus when you're going to make Queens. So it's a 72 drone saturation for soO, but he's on 3 bases, which means he's oversaturated on 2 of his 3 bases, which is not what you want to be here, but the 4th base is about 50% complete and will get there eventually. Are we seeing... That's 2 Battlecruisers with another one on the way. 2 armories coming in here too. This is a Battlecruiser mech style out of Bunny. Now, this can be hard to deal with for the Zerg. This can be fairly easy to deal with for the Zerg too. If you go for the Neural Parasite, if you're going for Corruptors as Aspire is on the way, you can do pretty well for yourself. Roaches and Ravagers will benefit from the +1 missile attack and the +1 ground carapace. Roaches running around in the middle of the map without Glider Reconstitution are really sad. Slow Roaches really kind of suck. And yes, I know we saw them attacking earlier, but by gosh, they are slower than dirt. Is dirt slow? Dirt can't move at all, in case you're wondering. Yeah, Tumor's going down, whatever. Battlecruiser just trolling about. Going to take out a couple Queens. And continue pushing in. 2 Battlecruisers versus 4 Queens is not a fair trade for the Queens here. Really, really well aggressed here out of Bunny. Aggression. Well defended. What's the opposite of well defended? Well aggression, I guess. Well attacked, perhaps. Yeah, man. Drones going down. Losing mining time here at the 4th base. There's 1 Queen coming over to try to stop this from happening. The drones are retreating for their lives. This base in a lot of trouble. That Queen runs for her life. Battlecruiser is doing exceptionally well. 16 kills and 20 kills. Then the Corruptors show up, and now it's time to get out. Oh, he lost the 1. He lost the 1 in that second of vulnerability that the Battlecruisers have before they can jump away. In the old patch, that BC would have escaped with like 40 HP, but not this one. See that? See that little second of vulnerability? You can lose a BC in that. I know when I first saw it, I was like, 1 second to vulnerability? Come on, don't make me laugh. That doesn't mean anything. It does. You can definitely lose Battlecruisers now where you couldn't before. Turrets chasing these Corruptors away. We're a 4-basing Terran versus a 4-basing Zerg. 92 to 81 workers. Bunny's in a good position, y'all. He's really in a pretty great position right now. The Corruptors are annoying. Yamato and a jump out, which jumping away from your main base is not what you want to do with your life. Are there turrets you can fight over, guys? I want to say, all right, bringing repair is pretty good as well. Man, Battlecruiser does go down. Turret fighting, getting extra damage. Turrets are one of your better answers to Corruptors here, trying to repair through the damage. These Corruptors are putting on this BC, and they're doing pretty well. Again, it's lost mining time, and it has lost resources, both minerals and gas, to repair that BC, so it's not free for Bunny to do that. But it was definitely worth it, keeping it alive and shoving the Corruptors away. soO taking a 5th base down on the left side right now, probably setting up a 5th command center too, as Bunny here at the location of his 4th, more Battlecruisers in production. And you can't really do this with straight up just Corruptor. That's why we have an Infestation Pit. He is going for a Hive right now. But Neural Parasite is really fantastic. Neural Parasite has not been taken away from Infestors, just the Infested Terran ability. So we'll see how good this is. Usually Infested Terrans are used in conjunction with the Neural Parasite to really burn down the Battlecruisers once they've been parasited. But at this stage, that's not available. So I'm not sure, are there actually any Infestors on the ground? No. So soO's going to try to do this without Infestor right now. We'll keep an eye on that production tab and see what's what. I love the Thor edition right now. Splash damage, really great against those Corruptors. They do like to ball up, especially when they're moving and when they're attacking. All your units like to stack, though, given the opportunity to do so. So Bunny meching right now. A couple free roaches over this way. Yeah, I mean, that's just free roach is what it is. Why are you still making roaches? I guess maybe you're worried about the Thors, the Cyclones, but you're not even that good against Cyclones either. Hellion run by into the 5th base. Couple drones going to die. They've got the Blue Flame upgrade. They're handled pretty effectively. There's a Yamato and a teleport out. Battlecruisers coming back home to the safety of their missile turrets. And their sensor towers. Resources lost. 7,900 for soO. 4,500 for Bunny. This is really effective Terran play right now. And Ultralisk Cavern. Going Ultralisk here today. Versus Mech. Versus the tanks. Versus the Hellbats. Versus the Battlecruisers. Okay, in fairness, they're really good against the Hellbats. And there are Vipers. Okay, without Vipers, this would be a really bad strategy. But Vipers really helping this out here. Banelings crashing on in. Corruptors up top going after the Battlecruisers. Tanks. Oh, man. Tanks largely going away here. Nice Corrosive Biles, but soO pulls back after getting the damage done that he needs to. Any damage he can get done on this side of the map and off creep is good for him. He doesn't want to be defending pushes when they're creeping up on his 4th base or his 5th base. He wants to keep Bunny over here. And so far, he's pretty effective at doing it. Adrenal Glands on the way from soO. Working on 2 more hatcheries at a time. And I like what soO's doing. He's not overmaking any one unit. He's got Slings, Ravagers, Banelings, Queens, and Corruptors. He's not going mass anything here. It's a good setup. Bunny, too, though. He's got tanks, Hellbats for the Zerglings, Thor here to absorb shots from the Banelings, too. Battlecruisers for just pretty much good against anything but the Corruptors here. Hellion's trying to get damage done, but soO's map awareness and his creep spread is just too good. Just too good. Banelings not interested in actually running into that tank fire, which I can't say that I blame him. It's a pretty tempting target to explode on those Hellbats, but not when there are tanks on the ground, and not when they're working on a +3 vehicle attack. They've got +2. But yeah, soO's setting up for a bit of a surround here. What the heck is this Hellion doing? Dying, obviously. Obviously, another incredible engagement happening on here. Lings and Banelings getting on top of the tanks. The Hellbats all disappear. The Thor is gone as well. Battlecruiser taking serious shots from the Corruptors. Another tank down, another tank down. Tanks on the 3rd line of defense right here. Trying to get shots off against these Ravagers, but the upgrades are too good for soO. Not enough tanks here versus this many Ravagers. Trying to keep these Corruptors at bay with this Battlecruiser, but I think he's going to fall. Missile turret or no missile turret right now. Final tank down, Battlecruiser down. Army supply 94 to 48 in favor of soO, and that was a shellacking. An absolute shellacking of Bunny's army. Greater Spire on the way. Vikings in production from Bunny, recognizing he'll need something to deal with the Broodlords here, as the handful of Corruptors have just done their job today. Again, we're not talking about 20 Corruptors. Maybe we are now because he's making Broodlords. He's got 13. He's got 13. He has lost 15 of them. Just over time, though, right? He never had a huge swarm of them. It's always been 5 or 6 or so, which is really good to know here. Prosabile trying to take down that command center, floating over this way for another base. Nice job getting the sensor tower, though, as a consolation prize. So +3 vehicle attack is coming on in right now. That's a really good upgrade to have against these Ravagers, against these Banelings, Roaches, and Zerglings. If you have enough tanks, it could be really nigh impossible to break through without Blinding Cloud, without Abducts. Now, are there any Vipers in this group? We saw some Vipers in production earlier. There's one. One back here. There you go. Sucking energy off that Roach Warren and then should get back to the front lines eventually. But Bunny, economy's fine. He's got 87 workers. Sure, his army got whacked there, but he was able to rebuild pretty effectively with the killer economy that he has. soO has a bigger bank, unfortunately, so even if he's able to kill one of soO's armies here, soO's going to be able to remax pretty effectively with the amount of money that he has. Bunny pushing on in, clearing some creep, keeping the Hellbats near the tanks. These +3 tanks are not messing around versus your ground army, soO, and he knows it. He knows the upgrades are good. He knows the tank count is a little bit scarier now, and he knows he only has one Viper. He is making 6 Broodlords, though. And the 6 Broodlords up north here are going to be able to rain down destruction upon these ground units. The Vikings, a decent answer, especially considering there aren't any Hydralisks here. There's only one Viper. So, like, one Parasitic Bomb, yes, is a problem, but it's not like 2 or 3 Parasitic Bombs. Split it off. Nice split. Beautiful split there. Corruptor count, kind of scary too, though. And there we go. Vikings trying to get on top of these Broodlords. The transfuses are good, keeping them alive. Charging on in to get rid of the Queens or the Blue Flame Hellbats. Doing pretty good at it, actually. Queens are down. The Vikings are fleeing for their lives from the Corruptors. The tanks trying to fire on this entire ground army. Doing pretty well with it. But the Broodlords are just too much. The additional Broodling attack coming on in. See these Ravagers get eviscerated. We'd be dead earlier, except for the Broodlings getting extra hits off against those tanks. And once again, Bunny's army is gone. However, he didn't lose a base. He didn't lose many SCVs, although this one is in trouble thanks to a small Roach Ravager attack down south at the 6 o'clock position. soO working on +3 melee attack for his Zerglings, his Banelings, and his Broodlings. They get fired from these Broodlords. More Roaches, more Ravagers. Is Bunny replacing his mech army? He's going to Thors, ladies and gents. I mean, soO's doing this without Infestors at all. No Infestors at all, which does not really bode well for the future of Terran and the balance in StarCraft, does it? Like, everybody complained about the Infestor. It was Broodlord Infestor. It was Corruptor Infestor. It was Roach Ravager Infestor. Infestors were just the force multipliers for anything Zerg wanted to do. But in this situation, where there are no Infestors, I don't know. What does this say? Does more need to be done to Zerg to bring it down to an even position versus Terran? Seems possible that it does. Again, Bunny is not dead at this stage, right? He's at 157 supply. His army supply is 94 to 105 for soO. It's not like soO has an insurmountable lead right now. He doesn't have mass Vipers. He has one Viper, handful of Corruptors, some Broodlords. This army is not abjectly terrifying by any stretch. The problem is there are no tanks. Bunny might have given up on the tanks and is going for 3/3 Thors instead, which he's got. He's got 3/3 Thors. Actually, went for the Lurker upgrade. No, is that Anabolic Synthesis? I think that's Anabolic Synthesis for the Ultras he's never made at all. That poor Thor, though. He dead. Yep, he's out. Okay, Parasitic Bomb on the Vikings. Great split from Bunny. Engagement coming in. Thor's getting direct damage off against those Broodlords because they do outrange them, especially if the Broodlords aren't being microed all that well, and they were not, but the Roach Ravager army on the ground is just enough to handle the Thors here. Caustic Spray, rather, on top of this Planetary Fortress. Again, Bunny's army gets wiped out here. Planetary Fortress trying to handle this. You can't repair through the Caustic Spray of 4 or 5 Corruptors. And the base does end up falling. A bunch of SCVs die here too, and that is where problems begin for the Terran player. He can lose an army, but he can't lose bases. He needs the economy. 45 workers is not going to be enough here against soO, who's expanded again to the top side, who is happily sitting on 81 drones, who is just kind of remaxing his army with Zerglings at this stage. Because again, if the tank count is not very high, and the Hellbat count is not very high, then you can handle this with Zerglings pretty much. Zerglings trade exceptionally well versus Thors. That is one of Thor's weaknesses. But you notice how those Broodlords died. The Broodlords are all gone. And all soO has left here is kind of a Ling, Roach, Ravager, Baneling army, which is good and has good upgrades. I'm not trying to denigrate it. And it is really good against these Thors, especially the Zergling count and the Banelings here against the Hellbats. So, I mean, if soO just went for this, I kind of feel like it would be fairly effective. But he's waiting for more Corruptors. Expanding again to the bottom left side here. Barracks is actually scouting this base up top that soO has just taken. It is on fire and burning down, and I'm not sure anything's going to come out of it. Here we go again. soO's Baneling just exploding all over these Thors, trying to take down the Hellbats. Tank firing, nice dodge on the Corrosive Biles here. Tanks again firing against these Ravagers. Banelings against a very injured Thors. 2 more Thors go down. 40 to 36 army supply. But the problem is this bank. soO sitting at 2,000, 3,000. He's making 7 roaches at a time. Bunny has like 20 minerals right now in his bank. Can you even call it a bank? I would argue you can't even call it a bank. And look who's making 9 more Broodlords. Oh gosh, 9 more Broodlords is going to be it. There are 2 Thors to handle 9 Broodlords. And even if you trade pretty well against Broodlords now, that's not enough. You're just outnumbered at that stage. It's like Banelings. Banelings are the answer to Marines, yes, but not if it's 1 or 2 Banelings versus 16 Marines. No, you should shoot them down, they explode before they do anything. Kind of the same thing here. The Thors don't have enough HP or damage output to deal with 9 Broodlords when there are 2 Thors on the ground. So Thors are really slow, which is a benefit here for Bunny. He's heading up to the north to try to wipe out a base or 2. He might be willing to sack this one if he can take down a hatch for the first time today. Yeah, you just can't repair through this. Maybe you can repair through this. No, the SCVs are falling. It's really impossible to tell at this point. So Tank sets up in range of a spine, which not great for you, Tank, but it's okay. It's fine. That hatch is going to die again. First hatch of the day down. Planetary Fortress down again for Bunny. Here we go, man. soO doesn't need any spellcasters. Just kidding. There's your Blinding Cloud. Blinding Cloud on those tanks. Broodlings actually affecting the battle there. And that's going to be all she wrote. soO is your winner in 22 minutes and 3 seconds. The attempted attack up that direction was just too much. Oh, was just too much there for Bunny, and soO ends up being the winner here today. So pretty exciting match. Good back and forth, several large battles. Again, only going to kill 1 hatch today. It's not really going to work for me, Bunny. If you're going to take down a Zerg player in the current meta, you got to kill more hatches. You got to put soO down on fewer workers. 20 drones killed is good, but not when you lose 74 SCVs. Resources lost at the end of the day. Bunny has lost 47,000 and soO's lost 44,000. So, I mean, soO was up, way up in resources lost. He had lost significantly more than Bunny had, but by the end of the game, that is flipped. And that just shows how the end of the game went. Several battles happened. Bunny did not win a single one of them. He kept trying to reset up different compositions here. It dealt with the Broodlords, but the Roach Ravager was just too good. The Blinding Cloud on that final battle was just too good and ended up killing a hatch, but it was too late. Battlecruiser, super... Battlecruiser can be dealt with, even if you don't have any infestors at all. Which, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. All right, well. One of these days, we'll find a match where Terran wins a late game macro game against Zerg. I might need to cast some more innovation or some more Morrow for that to happen. So, but for now, that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a Patreon cast. Go ahead, hit me up on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitter, /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for hanging out with me, and you take care of yourself.